Out in the top third of the pack, run as easy as possible. The idea being up front was just to stay out of trouble, make sure I wasn't in the ball of runners, make sure I didn't get tripped up, hit a hurdle, fall in the water jump or anything. So just wanted to be able to have a clear sight of everywhere I was running. So it was good. Felt really good. Corey, Leslie made a move, and McAdam made a move, and strung it out towards the end, and I just wanted to stay up front and get a top 5. So
you sound like a veteran, man, but this is still pretty new to you.
Well, you know, I mean, I made a decision to join Jerry 4 years ago, and I've been running the professional game for 4 years, so it's all really the same. It's just a different event. So
even 5,000 to 1,500 to this, you see kind of similarities between them?
Definitely this and the 5K. The 1,500 feels a lot different for me. Even with the barriers in the steeple, I still feel like the pace is slow enough where I can get in a good rhythm and just kind of cruise throughout the race, which is a lot like the 5K. So
yeah.
It's kind of how we tackle it. So
you had a bad experience with the water barrier oxy, and even looked like your foot slipped a little bit. But what's going on in your head, you know, after that type of thing, to just rebound, not think about it, no fear?
Yeah, the first thing that my coaches said, well, first thing Jerry said was, "You're an idiot," and then he was like, it's actually both him and Pascal both told me that it was probably a good thing that it happened there, just so that I would appreciate the event and respect the event more from there on. And it was a good thing that it happened in that race as opposed to the prelim or the finals here at the Olympic trials. So it's kind of good to get out of the way. It was a good learning lesson, and I took a lot from that. From then on in practice, I kind of, when I got tired at the end of the workouts and still had to go over water barriers, I had that in the back of my mind, and instead of trying to like really crush that last water jump and like distance myself from the other athletes, when I'm in that situation now, I know to just like kind of get through it, make sure I get through it without any mishaps, and then I can run the last 120 really hard if I still have something left. So I learned a lot from that race.
You still think about it as you race now?
Yeah, I thought about it the last lap. I was like, saw it coming up, I was in the lead again, and I was thinking, you don't need to crush it, you're in the lead right now, just get through it and then run hard right out of the pit. So did that.
In the rain?
Yeah. No, it didn't. It was actually, it felt pretty nice. It wasn't really raining that hard. It was nice and cool, so keep the body temperature down. It felt really good in the race, and you get wet anyway, so it doesn't really, it didn't really bother me.
Opportunities, well, you've had a few opportunities, but not much where you've actually had to be in the crowd.
Yeah.
How do you prepare for, you know, that level of impact?
Well, it's been hard to prepare for, just because I'm the only one in the group doing water jumping stuff. So I just have to, I mean, it makes it a lot easier being able to run out front and see where you're running. The first lap or two at Oxy, I was right in the middle of the pack, and it was a little, I just thought it was going to go out really fast, so I wanted to work my way up, and I was in the pack, and it did feel a lot more uncomfortable than being out front in the lead naturally, but I think I just have to learn to give myself enough room so that I can, like, I know when the barrier is coming up, and then coming off of the barrier, I won't speed up and run into the guy in front of me. So I just have to keep that in mind, and really can't do anything about it in practice. So
you've had a lot of opportunities and a lot of injuries you had to fight through. What's it like right now, being on the verge, heading into the finals of Steeple?
It's awesome. The greatest feeling I've had, one of the greatest feelings I've had in my career since turning pro, was that first steeple at Mount Sac, where there were no expectations. I knew I was really fit, and I was expecting to run well, but the race that I ended up having winning by 5 seconds or whatever, 4 seconds, whatever it was, and winning a race. It was the greatest feeling ever, just getting that feeling of winning a race again and feeling really good doing it. So that's what I've been working for the last 2 years since my surgery, and kind of the season that I had in '09 and the winter and fall training leading up to 2010, I was kind of expecting those type of results, and it's really good to finally be in the situation where I can actually achieve those. And if I can do that in 3 days in the finals, I will be really, really, really happy.
I was going to say, you seem like you're running with as much confidence now as you were even back in high school when you were just tearing it up.
That was the other thing. In that first steeple at Mount Stack, I had that feeling of the type of competitor I was in high school. I came off of that race and felt like I was in a position to where most of the races I could run in the U.S., I could be vying for that first place spot, and I think I've learned that's like one of the biggest things about being able to compete in these types of fields is confidence, and just that feeling, knowing that it's there, that I can go out and win is really awesome.
How would you compare your fitness to, 3 or 4 years ago when you were sort of 13-20 type shape?
I'm beyond where I was in '09. Much more fit. The winter and fall that I had this past year that was the way I was feeling coming off the '09 season, going into the fall and the winter, leading up to 2010. I was crushing all of our strength workouts, doing really, really long tempo runs, 10 miles of work in workouts, and feeling good doing it, feeling completely controlled. And that's how I felt this last fall and winter. And obviously I didn't really get injured this year. I've had knock on wood, a healthy season. And so this is similar to the type of season I feel like I would have been able to have in 2010 had I stayed healthy. So I feel like I'm more fit than I was in 2009, and I'm actually really hoping I get to run a 5K later this summer, because I want to test that fitness and get a PB. So.
And on that last lap, you ran 62. Was that all out, or?
Oh no, no. I mean, I was last 2 laps. I was glancing up at the screen, trying to see how many guys were still in contention. I think coming through 400. On that first curve, I looked up and I thought I saw 6 guys. So I think Corey was right next to me, and he was pushing at that point. So I decided to push just to secure that top 5 spot, and there was more in the tank.
And how often do you work out with the guys like Tegan Camp and guys like that?
That's most of my training. I've done probably 7 or 8 hurdling, steepling sessions by myself. Everything else has been, since we started track-specific workouts, it's been 5K based. So that's the way I wanted to come into the season, with the 5K strength, and then just touch on the hurdling, make sure I had that down, and I thought that my 5K fitness could carry me through. But
does that give you a mental boost to see him make the team?
Yeah, it did. It was awesome. It felt really good. Mainly because anything he had done this year, I was right there with him. I was able to handle everything. So yeah, I felt really good. Obviously I felt good all season, especially with how I felt in the 2 steeples that I did. I felt good coming into this, but seeing that just gave me a little bit extra confidence. So.
And you were talking about that high school confidence that you used to have.